Okay, in this video I want to carry on from the last video, and what we'll do is take out the front battery. So we've already disconnected the battery and we power cycled it to drain down the capacitors. So now I'll unplug this power switch cable from the board just to get it out of the way. Tuck it underneath. Next thing we'll remove is the front LED. It's labelled LED1, makes sense for the front. Just put this out of the way. Now we'll undo this terminal. So again, we just use the pliers, twist 90 degree and wiggle them apart. The next thing is just to take out the 4 screws. Now I've taken out the 4 screws. It's just a matter of lifting the battery out basically. But we still have an attachment on this other end we've got to deal with. Now when I've taken this apart already because I've got a little bit of damage happening here in the battery, but this was covered in a black silicon type rubbery product, so actually that's not engaged fully there yet, but the little clip hooks over that bar there. I've found that the best way to remove this rubbery glue was to grab it with the pliers and then just wind it up. And I wound it and wound it. It seemed to stretch. It was a little bit like trying to pull bubble gum out of carpet, but if you get a grip of it, you could sort of wind it off. So I wound off one half and it just peeled off the white plastic, broke it away, and then did the same for the other side. So that's the way I dealt with it. ChatGPT tells us that you can use heat, so I'm going to try using some heat to remove the material under the clip there. But the day I did peel it off and take it off, it was a hot day here in Australia. It was about probably 25 degrees inside the workshop here. So I think a bit of warmth helps this stuff because it was quite flexible and rubbery. You can see underneath here the rubbery stuff seeped in underneath that tab, which made it difficult to actually, well, I couldn't actually press it down to disengage the lock here, which did cause a little bit of damage on this clip here, which is neither here nor there. That's pretty much useless now, but I was more concerned about damaging this clip. I don't really want to do anything to damage this because it's all connected to the main loom. We could probably splice a new one in, but that's just another point for things to go wrong in the future. So I'm going to spend a bit of time now and advise anyone else. I mean, if you're waiting for a new battery to come along, you've got all the time in the world to take your time to remove this properly before you try and take it out from the battery. So I'm going to try a little bit of heat to try and remove the gunk that's caught in underneath there so that the clip will actually start to function again properly. Apparently this stuff's called T-7000. It's a butyl type adhesive, and it's available, but like if you're waiting for your battery to come, if you want to use the same stuff again, you might pay to order some to get it in. It's not very expensive. But I'm going to put some heat on this to see if it actually makes it a little bit easier. you go, pretty happy with that. So I applied a bit of heat, just enough like with a hairdryer, and like I say, when you grab it and turn it, it seems to stretch and start to peel off the plastic. So yeah, that's pulled all that out now. So yeah, take the time to just remove that. I'm not going to advise against cutting it, because then I just think it makes, you've got a whole heap of smaller pieces to actually remove, whereas it seems to roll up on itself and pull off like chewing gum. Anyway, that's got the battery out now. Just sit and wait for the new one to come.